welcome back to You Know Who. I'm your host, Brian Heinz. And it's time for another episode of the 13th Doctor's Adventures. Now, last time we saw the return of Captain Jack and the possibility that the Doctor has a whole past she doesn't remember as we met Dr. Ruth, as some people are calling her. I called her Dr. Zero, but that didn't really take off because it was a couple of weeks after the episode came off, so everyone had already made their minds up. I don't think that means I should be able to affect the pop culture zeitgeist, but that's a story for another time. So, what goes on next? Is she going to find out who this Doctor is? Probably not. That's the way these kind of mythology story works. Usually there's a couple of inconsequential, albeit still fun episodes in between this heavy story stuff. So Master's back, wipes out Gallifrey, a couple episodes go by, new female Doctor that the Doctor doesn't remember ever being, despite this Doctor assuming she's in the 13th Doctor's past. So what's going on there? Oh, and Captain Jack is back. So now we'll probably have a couple more episodes, but the lone Cyberman is coming. There's still the Timeless Child is still out there. What's that all about? I don't know. So a lot has been going on. Things are getting crazy in the Doctor's past, but let's jump right into Praxeus, which I've probably mispronounced.
From the depths of the oceans.
Oh. Is it the Hobgoblins?
Of the atmosphere.
Rita Repulsa. Oh, it's this guy. Who's this guy? I don't know.
We have automatic system failure.
What the?
This is the most beautiful river in the world.
She's not looking where she's going. She's not looking where she's going. This can't end well.
Okay.
Is this a joke?
Is this another climate change is bad episode?
I don't know what happened. 3 years ago, this was paradise.
Welcome to Alfred Hitchcock's Doctor Who. Let's see Hitchcock show up on a Who episode. That'd be cool. Hong Kong?
What the hell?
Dead birds? What is it? Is the Doctor ever going to show up?
That's weird.
A lot of these episodes lately have been very Doctor-light in the first, 5-10 minutes.
Hey! Don't touch it.
There we go.
Something's wrong with the birds.
Sorry, who are you?
We're the people with a nice big set of skeleton keys.
Were they already going in? Why are they just letting him in there?
Good morning, Suki. Sleep in?
Hi! Why is there always a big glass that need rescuing?
Oh, was this from last episode? There were 3 separate signals.
You touched Jamila.
I don't even know who Jamila is.
She vanished.
Look, I'm not armed. There's nothing in my bag. Check yourself if you don't believe me. How long has she been gone?
I last saw her.
Pliers, duct tape, blowtorch. Yeah, this is okay.
Stand still.
I'm Ryan. Need to take that bird. These markings, they're not natural.
It's the white stuff that was on the guy's hand.
What are you doing?
You live here? Work here. That's my lab. We can get him inside. It's all right. You're safe.
What is that?
Not.
What's your name?
Zach Olsen. There was an impact. Our captain tried to raise the sub, but it was too late. It was already inside.
What was already inside, Zach?
You know what's on his hand?
Yes, what's on it? Thank you. What's on his hand? Oh my god, he turned into popcorn and exploded.
Where are all the stuff?
A valid question. The patience, there's no power.
Another one in there.
Another dead
What are you
bird.
doing?
The same as the river.
Why would you ever let Ryan go off on his own? This is not a good idea. He's liable to get locked in a closet and eat his own foot to survive. I'm gonna have to rebrand my vlog.
You've seen these
Don't
markings
touch
before?
it. Ryan keeps touching things he shouldn't. Remember the very first episode? Touching thing, and then Tim Shaw showed up.
I don't think that's alive.
No, right, she's not alive.
Whatever is giving off those weird readings is on the other side of that wall. Is on the other side of this door.
Oh, what is going on with this episode? Are the birds got infected and they're flying everywhere and spreading it, maybe?
What the hell's all this?
Ah!
Adam? Adam! I told you he was here. Let's keep going! Run right behind us!
God, they're terrible shots. These guys are going so slow. They should be easy targets.
Back up, I already have back up.
He's a copper.
Ex-copper.
What?
Everything all right?
You said to call if anything else unusual happened?
Suki,
This blue box just appeared out of nowhere.
putting that a day.
If I could get a hold of one to analyse it.
Good job I got one in my backpack. Picked it up when I was in Peru.
That's why you smell a dead bird. I thought we changed your shower gel.
Doc! Doc, Adam's in a bad way in there.
That's one of the creatures Jake shot.
Oh, it's just going to be a normal human, isn't it?
What's he doing?
Okay, maybe not.
Where did he go? Blood cultures, rapid genome sequencing, a spectrophotometer, and a super fast incubator.
I've got most of that.
Suki Cheng, on a Madagascar beach, excellently equipped and ready for anything. Oh, can I use your computer?
Yeah, why? What is she doing here?
I'm afraid it's inside you, Adam. And right now, I don't know how we'll stop it overwhelming you.
You really want to follow that?
Can we take the spacesuit off? He looks like a
We
frightened
seriously want
turtle.
to do this?
Yeah.
Without knowing where we're going?
Yeah.
You see, the alien writing says one at a time. You just can't read it because the
This
TARDIS
always
isn't
place we
there.
could end up.
Take a look.
What the?
Plastic?
Once plastic gets in the ocean, birds mistake it for food. I've seen hatchlings regurgitate 200 individual pieces.
It's feasting on the plastic in the birds and taking them over. The alien pathogens attacked the plastic. The
Plastic?
plastic metastasized as if it was living. Autons? No, it can't be autons. They don't work like this. Not bacterial.
I thought
Brains,
autons.
move it along.
Why can't it be autons?
But how does that explain what happened to Jamila? Like she just got taken over.
Alien bacteria homing in on microplastics because humans are full of them.
We are?
I'm not for plastic.
Full of something.
I'm afraid you are, Greg. Ryan Sinclair picks up a dead bird in Peru and might just have saved the world.
Well, I am here for you guys, you know.
If we isolate and boost the enzyme, then splice them, we'd have one supercharged virus. We call the infection Praxeus. Trust me, it's smart, it's relentless, and it knows you're onto it.
Oh, I'm a sucker for a scientist.
Where did she just go?
They keep hiding the bad guys in plain sight this season.
We need to get out of here.
Half an episode goes by, I'm the Master. Half an episode goes by, I'm Dr. Ruth. Half an episode goes by, I'm Suki.
Have they gone?
If Praxis is being spread by birds, it could get around the world incredibly fast, attacking and infecting every living thing. We may potentially have a cure, but we don't know if it works.
Test it on me.
Right now, it's just a birdemic. It might become a
Too
planetdemic.
dangerous. I want to know what they are.
It's covered in other stuff, isn't it? It's people!
Bio reading synced with the TARDIS. Thanks for coming to get us. Eventually. Look at you going off on your own and not getting killed.
Plus, totally found an alien colony.
There's a lot of passive-aggressive in that.
Sort of. It is an alien
Exchange.
construct, but it's not an alien colony.
Then where are we?
A long way below the Indian Ocean.
Under all the plastic crap in the sea.
Beneath a gyre of plastic pollution.
We're under the sea?
It's a
Still
naturally
feels
occurring oxide
Autonish.
where ocean currents trap pollution. There are 5 major gyres on Earth right now.
What does all this stuff mean?
Oh. Is that the hologram communicator from before? What's... Bad things are happening.
The infected people in the hazmat suits.
My crew. I'm the last one left.
Wait, that's a spaceship, right?
Well, the back end of one, yes.
Just when I thought things could get any madder.
Oh, well, okay, that escalated.
No, Suki, the cure is designed for humans, and we don't even know if it works on them. If you're not human, who knows what will happen? Please tell me you haven't administered it on yourself.
Uh-oh.
Stay out of my way. We can fix this. Work together, find a cure for you, and then we can stop Earth from being taken over by Praxeus.
I think it's too late.
What's happening to me? It's spreading. How do I stop it? Help me!
The cure supercharged the disease for her race. It might just
You okay?
ended them all if they tried
Succumb
it.
to Praxeus.
Trajectory aligned, comms off, spatial regulator is disabled.
How do any of you know what you're talking about? Please, explain that to me.
What is that literally the controls for up, down, left, and right? Adam Lang, your job is so easy.
Shuttle initiating autopilot takeoff.
I had such respect for you, but now you're a moron. Clearly.
What's actually happening?
It's gonna work though, right?
I don't know. It might not. But it's definitely going to take off. We need to get out of here.
What if it doesn't work?
Too late
Needs a
to
pilot.
go. Come on. Gotta be faster.
He's gonna fly the damn thing.
Hand will vent the antidote. You need to flick the 3 switches at once.
I'm
gonna give it a go.
Ship's gonna break up.
Materialize around. Great.
I hate you.
We all do.
Yeah, you guys can go now. We'll take the planet from here.
Hey! Come find us sometime!
Planet Earth.
Your reoccurring
7
characters
billion
like,
lives.
James Corden.
Separate and connected. From the edge of the atmosphere to the depths of the ocean.
Okay, well, that was Praxis, which was a very confusing episode. It's another episode with a message, you know, too much plastic in the oceans. Okay, we get it, but really, are the aliens coming? I thought it was going to be, for a moment there, I did think it was going to be the Autons, and that would have been cool. But it wasn't the Autons. It was just kind of like, here's a dodgy alien set or two and some kind of interesting makeup, and that's kind of the budget for the episode. To be honest, I didn't really like this episode. I mean, there were a few good things here and there, but it's like the most confusing part was the character played by Warren Brown. Warren Brown, I know very well from Luther, which is a great show, so good to see him again, but his character was kind of introduced as this over-the-top, taking things too far for the situation character, but then it turns out he's doing that because he's overcompensating, because he's a coward. He didn't want to travel. He didn't want to be with his husband. Then, hey, I'm going to kill myself for the sake of the human race, which is kind of out of nowhere. I like to think that if a character is going to do that, there are going to be seeds laying for that in the story. Like, you know, I've made some monumental mistake. I have to sacrifice myself for the good of the human race because it's going to be my redeeming moment. But there was really what little redemption he needed. That was so much further than it had to go, you know. I really think that they just should have let it do the autopilot thing. I mean, that was just kind of like a little last-minute drama, and then they do a thing. They pull Captain Jack and save him instead of an Adric and let him die. Just a lot of confusing character development for Jake, and a redemption that was completely out of left field, a completely over-the-top redemption that he didn't really need. He just needed to make up with his husband. Adam, played by Matthew McNulty, was another character where it's like, you know, there wasn't much for him to do. He's just there to die and have the makeup kind of spread on him. I kind of wondered why he was in the lab in the first place. Obviously, it's because he was infected and they were testing him. But, you know, then there was the other people on the submarine, or the one guy on the submarine. Like, why was it just him? Why were other humans being tested? And how did he contact Jake? How did he manage to get his hands on a phone and contact him? That was never explained, because he's like tied up and wrapped up in this machine. So they don't really make a point of explaining that. That was a little confusing. Joanna Borgia played Gabriella, and she was kind of an unnecessary character. Since the story was split into 3 parts, every single part needed an outsider for the TARDIS crew to interact with so they could explain what's going on. But ultimately, beyond being there for Ryan, of all people, to explain things to, there wasn't really much for her to do. And then when Yaz goes off, I'll go with Yaz, so Yaz will have someone to explain to, and we can have that transmission of information so the audience can soak it up. She was a necessary character for the audience to be able to follow the story, because otherwise you've just got people talking to themselves, and who wants that? But it didn't. Her character didn't really serve a purpose to the story. She was there so we had a reason to have these conversations, and the audience has a reason to grab all that stuff. But as bloated as the cast usually is, this was like adding 3 more companions, and we didn't really need that. The one character I did really like was Suki, played by Molly Harris. It just seems like, okay, I'm a scientist. I'm like, what is she doing out there with all this massive equipment? The doctor keeps, I need this, and I got it. Like, really? Why? And it's just like, oh, she's not the bad guy. It's not the master from Spyfall again, but it's that kind of reveal. Like, all the microinfiltration science she's doing ties into the virus. The reason she's there is she's testing it. She's involved with the infection. I'd say it was clever, but they just did that 5 or 6 episodes ago with the master, and it's literally the same thing. I liked her interaction with the doctor. They're very just kind of, once again, similar to the Nikola Tesla appearance, just 2 scientists bouncing ideas off each other. And I like even the doctor being, oh, I've got such a blind spot for scientists, because she was brilliant in interacting with me on an intellectual level. I didn't see what I needed to see here. And I did like that the aliens, as they weren't hideous monsters. From the start, I knew it was going to be like some sort of horrible monster experimenting on humankind. I had brief hope it was the Autons, but I mean, I knew once those masks came off, they'd essentially be human. Just from the feel and the tone of the episode, it kind of felt more like a mystery than it's aliens doing something evil. It's like, we're going to figure this out, and it's not going to be really horrible. It just kind of had that tone or theme to the episode. Boy, the sets here really looked bad. I mean, that hospital was like, let's throw some crap around. No, look, the hospital's abandoned. Well, if she was there, what happened to everyone else? Did they all get infected and die? Was she taken there by the other Praxeus scientists? By her, I mean Gabriella's friend who got infected by the birds. There's this big setup story with all these parts. They spent so much time making sure all the parts fit that I felt like the overall quality of the story just wasn't as good as it could be. As for the crew themselves, fine. Ryan, again, they're kind of sticking in with like the single girl and letting him do his thing. Graham didn't really have much to do. Yaz had that kind of upset moment, like, I thought I found an alien planet on my own. Like, okay, I get it. I mean, it was one of those episodes. Here's the story. We're just going to do the story. We're not going to really worry too much about character development. Fine. But the story itself was just kind of too concerned with too many moving pieces and adding characters just so we can get explanations. And Jodie was fine. She had some good moments. Like I said, I liked her interaction with Suki. But ultimately, this was just, here's a big jumble. We'll unjumble it. The end. Lot of stuff happened that didn't need to happen. There were characters we didn't need, and there were moments we didn't need, and I could have all been a lot better. It could have been a lot worse, but this feels like a C- episode at best. There you have it. Praxeus, 15 minutes of your life. You're not getting it back, so you may as well just say okay and move on. Okay, my friends, thank you for checking this out. Hey, if you want to contribute to help my show get made, but you don't want to join my Patreon, I now have a PayPal tip jar. You can just send me $1 or $2 if you feel like it. If you'd like to subscribe to my Patreon, that would be a great help to me. And every dollar goes to helping get these shows made for whatever little budget I have. Also, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you back here next week for more Doctor Who. Until then, this is You Know Who, and I'm your host, Brian Heinz.